Today's video is on how to pack antique dolls. A lot of sellers who don't usually deal in antique dolls on the internet don't know how to pack antique dolls. This video is an easy step-by-step video on how to pack these dolls and to make sure that they arrive safe and in one piece. This particular doll is an antique German bisque head doll. They have usually leather bodies with bisque hands or composition jointed bodies like this one. What you need to do first is get the wig and the cap that's underneath the wig, which is usually made out of cardboard or plaster. You would need to take that off to stuff the inside of the head. If the inside of the head is not stuffed and they have sleep eyes, you're in trouble because these glass eyes will break and fall inside the head and shatter the head possibly. They're attached to a lead weight to make the eyes open and close when laid down, so that weight is only held in, and the glass eyes are only held in by a piece of plaster on each side of the eye. So like I said, you're going to need to remove that wig. If it's glued down, which is usually a pain in the butt, but it can be removed safely, don't just yank it or try to pry it off. What you're going to do is, if the wig is glued around the head, you're going to take an old beat up cloth and you're going to dampen it. You're going to dampen it with warm water. It's okay to wet the bisque head because the paint was fired in an oven or a kiln at over 2,000 degrees, so the paint will not come off with water. What you're going to do is actually make sure the doll is placed on a soft cushioned area. Like I have tissue papers and I have it leaning on towels. If you don't do this while you're trying to take the wig off, the face could get scratched, cracked, chipped, or any other kind of damage that you don't want to happen because most of the value is in the head. What you would do is you take the wet cloth and you just keep wetting around where the wig is glued to the bisque head. Just keep going around and keep wiping and wiping and wiping and go around. Let it soak for about 5 or 10 minutes. If when you go to pull the wig, if it's still not budging, you're going to take the cloth again and you're going to rub going all the way around the head underneath the wig where it's glued to the head, and just keep on wetting and slightly pulling. If again you meet resistance with the wig, wet it again, let it soak for 10 to 15 minutes and try again. Eventually the old glue that holds that wig onto the head is going to come loose and eventually budge. But again, do not pull the wig if it's really glued down tight, because then the paint on the head will come off like this and it'll be called wig pulls, and that you don't want. If when you get the wig off there's a piece of cardboard underneath the top of the hollow head, what you'll need to do is again do the same thing with the wig. Keep going around where the cap is glued to the top of the head and just keep wetting, going around. Eventually it will get loose and it will come up. All you would have to do is actually get like a butter knife or a flathead screwdriver right where it's on and just try to push it under a little and pop it up. But be careful because you could chip the rim of the head. If not, you can do it with your finger, your fingernail, and try to keep pulling it up. If for some reason that cardboard lid does not come up, you can actually take an X-Acto knife, cut a small hole in the top, and then stuff the head with the paper. You can use tissues, paper towels, napkins, something soft. Make sure you gently stuff the inside of the head with the paper. Otherwise, the eyes could be poked out, and fall inside the head anyway. So once this paper is inside the head, the eyes cannot move. As you can see, I lay her down and her eyes are not moving. That is what you want. You don't want those eyes to move, because when it's in the shipping process, if the box is flipped over, dropped, moved around, those eyes will slam shut violently and they will fall inside the head and break. Okay, next what we're going to do is, you want to make a nice presentation and you want the doll to be cushioned well for its trip. So you're going to wrap it with some kind of tissue paper, paper towels, something like that, just so the head doesn't scratch by the bubble wrap. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this is done. You're going to wrap it actually like... So far this is just 2 layers of bubble wrap on the head. Let me flip her over. You can still see, you can still see her face a little under there. It's not enough. Keep going. Also, if she has accessories, like wig, that little cap that I told you about, make sure you pack it and, you know, do something, make it presentable. Put it in tissue paper, napkins, paper towels, and make sure you put it in Ziploc bags or some kind of plastic bag. So in case if it rains and your package gets wet during transit, that the items do not get wet. That protects it. Okay, now I'm going to keep on wrapping layers and layers of bubble wrap on my doll's head, and I'll show you. Okay, I have several layers of bubble wrap on the head. I have her laying on her back right now to show you, that it has enough layers. What we're going to do is wrap the whole entire body, including the head now, like a mummy. And I'll show you. Okay, here's one layer so far. See how the body is wrapped like a mummy? You have to pull it tight around the body. You can't leave it, wrap it loosely. You have to make sure that it's tight enough. Okay? Is this enough? No. I know right now, by now you're saying, oh God, how much packing material do I really need? Well, just think of it this way. When these items are in the shipping centers, they go on big conveyor belts. And some of these conveyor belts could be 20 to 30 feet high in the air. And sometimes when these boxes pile up on the conveyor belt, they knock other boxes off the conveyor belt and they fall 20, 30 feet to the ground. Would you feel confident with a 1800s doll made out of porcelain and paper mache falling to the ground? Nah, I didn't think so. Okay, so now, again, here's all my packing material. And I'm going to just keep wrapping, again, like a mummy. Here's the second layer of wrapping. I'm still not done taping. But as you can see, what you're going to do is you're going to hold it with one piece, pull up, that tightens it, put your piece of tape there. You're going to do the same all over. Then put your piece of tape, make sure it's tight around the body, and you're going to keep on layering. Okay, again, I'll show you. Okay, second layer is done now. It's taped, just a piece of tape every so often. Like I said earlier, you don't want to make it where it's almost impossible for your buyer to get the item out of the packing material, because then there's a chance that they can break it, removing it. Then you'll be liable for a chargeback with PayPal or whatever merchant or payment method you accept on the internet. Again, like I said, it has to be wrapped really well, like a mummy, cushioned extremely, extremely well. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to make another layer. So I'll show you. Here's layer number 3. Again, you can see it's padded well. Now what we want to do is we're going to want to put another layer or 2 on the head. Okay, the body seems to be padded well. So we're going to really wrap this around the head and tape it, again, not too much, or your buyer is going to end up taking a knife, slicing through the bubble wrap and either cutting chipping up the face or scratching the item that you shipped out, and that's not good. Okay, again, I'll show you a progression. Okay, my next layer of cushioning on the head was just done. And I flipped it over where she's face up. But again, you don't want to put her face up in the box. I'm just showing you that you cannot see the face through the bubble wrap, which is good. That means it's cushioned enough. And when I take my hands and I feel nothing but bubble wrap. That's what you want. You want to feel nothing but cushioning. You don't want to feel the porcelain head at all, because then, again, you're not padding enough. So next, what we're going to do is get a box, and the box has to be longer than the doll. It can't be just the same length as the doll or an inch longer than the doll. You want to go about at least 3 inches longer than the doll, and at least 3 inches to the left of the doll and 3 inches to the right of the doll. That will ensure that you put enough packing material and cushioning inside the box that it's protected, because forklifts and heavy machinery bang into the box and can leave punctures. Okay, this is how your box should look. You should fill it up with packing peanuts at least 2 to 3 inches deep. Make sure that when you place your item in face down, it's protected. The box I just showed you earlier was too small, so I had to get another one. This again, I got from the supermarket. Fill up your box with lots of packing, padding, materials. Peanuts being very good. Now place your item in. If you can double box, that would be even better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill the inside of the box all the way to the very top of the box with packing peanuts or materials. You don't want your item to rattle around inside the box and possibly break. So it's going to be filled all the way to the top. By the way, there's my dumb dog sneezing. You're going to fill it all the way to the very top of that box, filling in all the gaps and spaces around the item. Now is the time, if you have any other accessories, to add them. I've added my other accessories. Now I'm going to fill. As I go along, I'm making sure to fill any empty spaces. Now I'm going to get more peanuts, keep layering, keep going around, tuck it down inside the little crevices. You don't want this item moving. You want it well protected. Keep pushing packing material down into the spaces until they can't move any further. Just because this looks like it's enough, it's not enough padding. Look, watch what happens. See? There's gaps in here. Get more packing. Okay. Now it's packed up. I closed the box. I really taped it well. I taped it like it was going through a tornado. You don't want the box to pop open and to lose the contents. Word of advice to sellers, please insure your items. Remember, insurance is for the seller, not the buyer. If your item arrives broken, all the buyer has to do is file a chargeback with PayPal and you're not covered. So even if it costs $5 or $6 or $7 extra, if you sold something for high value, insure it. Another word of advice, sellers, please don't throw garbage in boxes as filler. I get this all the time. I open up a box and there's nothing but stained up, dirty packing material. You can reuse packing material. Just make sure it's presentable and it's not filthy and it doesn't offend your buyer, because it's really a disgusting thing to get filthy garbage just thrown in a box and it looks like someone didn't really care about the item they packed or sold. So again, please follow that word of advice. Also, to recap, make sure you remove the wig, stuff the inside of the head. I showed you how to remove that. When you're packing, place it on a soft towel because the face will get scratched, chipped, or broken. Place it face down in the box flat and do not bend the doll in half or what have you just to make it fit or stuff it inside a box. Wrap it like a mummy. Wrap all the extremities in bubble wrap or packing or padding material. Make sure that the doll goes in face down inside the box. Fill up that box all the way to the top, just so the item cannot move around and is padded well. If that's not done, the item will rattle around inside the box and break, and you will have an unhappy buyer and a claim against you. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and if you have any questions, please add comments below.